EBK Hotboiiz might be one of the fastest rising groups we've seen come out of Northern California in recent years. But now, the whole movement feels like it's falling apart. And it all starts with EBK J-Bo. Because let's be honest, J-Bo, he was the face of EBK. You know, he was the engine, the energy, the controversy, you know, all of the music, all of the biggest hits out of EBK Hotboiiz. That's on him. Everything revolved around him. And right when his career was reaching a whole new level, he goes to jail.
Don't reach for nothing, man. Just turn around, turn around. Let me pat you down, just make sure you ain't got nothing on you. Yeah, down, bro. Now you can ask my name. Just stand over there. Step out.
Not only does he go to jail, but he's reportedly facing some serious time. People are talking about 30 years. And whether that number ends up being exact, you know, the reality is simple. You know, he's the leader of the movement is gone. You know, you have the biggest figure of EBK Hotboiiz, he's gone. And when the main artist disappears, you find out real quick, you know, how strong the structure of the group is. Now, at one point, it looked like EBK Young Jock, you know, it looked like he could help carry the momentum, you know, after J-Bo got locked, you know. You know, before he went in, they seemed like they were locked in, you know, but you know there was tension that started to show. You know, people started noticing little signs, you know, that things weren't the same anymore. You know, there was a leaked diss track of EBK Young Jock.
Created players and half of them ain't even no slow. He ain't got blood on every side. That nigga lying.
And the chemistry around the whole movement, it feels different. On top of that, you got EBK Young Jock, his last mixtape, it didn't do so well. There was no major breakout songs, no big blog coverage, no conversation around it, no real rollout. And I would say that a rollout really matters more now than ever, you know, especially with you got the main figurehead, which is J-Bo, he's out. You know, you can't just drop music randomly anymore and expect it to shake the internet. You know, especially when your group already has momentum problems. And then you got EBK Trey B. What happened to EBK Trey B? You know, he basically just disappeared. Nobody knows what's going on with them. No consistent presence, no major push. I don't know if he is he locked? You know, so there's nothing keeping his name alive. And then you got EBK Bagdo. You can tell he's trying to step it up, you know, ever since J-Bo got locked. And he's trying to help keep things moving. But if I'm being honest, it's just not hitting the same. And that's not even disrespect. That's just, you know, my observation. But that just shows you how much the whole EBK movement depended on EBK J-Bo's presence. Now, the biggest issue might be EBK Lebo, because Lebo, he was supposed to be J-Bo's protege. You know, before J-Bo went in, he was, you know, I guess one of the closest to him, right? One of the next up. But instead of the music leading the way, you know, instead of the music leading the conversation for him is drama. He most recently got jumped outside of a probation office.
Get on him, stop on that nigga, get on him, stop on that nigga.
He got hella internet beef. He got problems with people like Verdi Baby, which is J-Bo's cousin. He got problems with SS Rich 33, and eventually, you know, all of that starts hurting the brand, you know, because attention and momentum are not the same. You know, you're doing all of this internet antics, but it's not really it's not translating into the music. It's not translating into bigger records or a stronger fan base. So now you look at the whole EBK movement and it feels unstable. No clear leader outside, you know, there's internal issues, no structure, no strong music releases. And meanwhile, the opposition is gaining momentum. You got people like Marley Bees, who just came home fresh out after building a buzz while he was locked up. His name got bigger. His streaming numbers went up. Videos on YouTube went up. The numbers went up, and he actually has an opportunity to capitalize on everything he built while he was away. So, while EBK does feel stagnant, Molly B's he does have an opportunity to rise up in that region of Stockton, and you know, and rap momentum it shifts fast. So 1 year you're the hottest movement in the city, the next year everybody moved on, and that's what it's kind of feeling like right now. Now, I want to ask: does this mean EBK Hotboiiz are completely finished? Not necessarily, because I feel that they still do have a fan base. They still have recognition, and if J-Bo somehow miraculously comes home sooner than expected, everybody could change again overnight. But now, I'm going to say that the future doesn't look as strong as it once did, and that's what makes the whole situation crazy to watch. Because a movement that once looked unstoppable, it suddenly feels like it's losing direction. Let me know what y'all think. Is this the fall of EBK Hotboiiz, or can they still turn it around? This is Play That Back. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Peace.